today we have Comet Blasters versus Red Emberz.
Yeah, a very exciting set. I. This is definitely one I've been looking forward to watching for a while now, especially due to reschedules and stuff. This is Red Emberz finally making their highly anticipated debut here in CCA Season 5. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of great things from just these two very, very strong teams.
Yeah, and obviously Comet Blasters are coming off of a strong 4-0 victory last week, I believe, and they are currently 1-1 as they do lose 0-4 to Skyfall. So if you're Comet Blasters, you're really hoping you could go up 2-1 because being down 1-2 already in only week 3 is just a really rough spot to be in as a team.
Yeah, I think they're definitely looking to keep the momentum going from their 4-0 in week 2, especially seeing in their keys to victory, one of the keys that they have talked about is playing a strong mental, is keeping a strong mental game going. So having that 4-0 in week 2, I think, is a great starting point for them to jump off from.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also another keys to victory would be to have that strong mental game, which honestly is something you can apply to both of these teams. Red Emberz wants to not be overconfident and also play their own game. Comet Blasters obviously wants to have a strong mental game and not really tilt. So as we see, we're going into Rainmaker on Manta Maria. What kind of weapons do you think you'll expect on this map?
Yeah, Rainmaker, Manta Maria. There's I mean, well, just being this is Splatoon 3, I think it'd be surprising not to see the Snipe Rider come out in some form here. Also, just along with Dorks and Backlines, I think you could expect a lot of like close quarters combat, a lot of big fights for the Rainmaker going on, and mid will be going on.
Oh, yeah,
I think
definitely.
some Splatanas with that object damage will definitely. There's a strong chance of those coming out too.
Yeah, 2 are immediately down on Comet Blaster's side as Red Emberz is pushing this Rainmaker through the first checkpoint, and they get it with little to no contention. The only person that's actively fighting the Rainmaker right now is the Carbon, who does go down, and it looks like Red Emberz is not finished with their opening push.
Yeah, very strong. Yeah, definitely a very strong start that we're seeing.
As you see, 2 down are again on the side of Comet Blasters. The Carbon has their Trizuka ready, but they are not popping it right now. They ends up up the cooler. The Trizuka does go down. Another 2 down on the side of Comet Blasters, but 3 are down on the side of Red Emberz. And although, Red Emberz is done with their push, they have done a lot of damage. As we see the Tri-Slosher taking on the Carbon in the fight, they find 2, and as we see, the members of the Red Emberz are just closing on this Rainmaker. They're already pushing into their spawn now. We see the Ink Rush popping the shield. We see the Tri-Slosher grabbing the Rainmaker. They're once again pushing again. Comet Blasters hasn't even had the chance to touch the Rainmaker at all, and we are 1 minute and 30 seconds into this game.
An extremely impressive start for sure, and there we go. That is game. Very, very fast start. Love to see them. Just coming right out of the gate like that. Just on fire. Just no signs of Red Emberz having that long layoff at all. They're just playing their game. They're getting in just so aggressively and pushing forward for a very fast game 1.
Oh yeah, they did not let off the gas at all. Just really going into this, really their quote-unquote opening match, their first ever CCA match that wasn't rescheduled very strongly. But as you can see, that was just so strong. They did not let Comet Blasters breathe for even a second there.
Yeah. Red Emberz showing why they were the number 1 seed coming in here. And looking at game 2, we're going to be going into Clan Blitz on Robo Ramen, a very open map, with just a lot of opportunities for a variety of approaches. What do you think we can expect to see here, Mewtwo?
I definitely think we're going to see that Ink Rush from Corona Beer definitely be a lot more of a nuisance than it was on the first game, because you could abuse that bottom area of the map to essentially just really go undetected unless you have a member of your team actively watching that area itself. So I think if you're Comet Blasters, you definitely need to keep an eye on, Corona Beer if they decide to use that Ink Rush again. But I definitely think if you're Comet Blasters, the overall offense of Red Emberz is something that's very scary, because I kept mentioning in the first game, two are down on the side of Comet Blasters. Let's see if they are able to sort of really play into Red Ember's offense and try and bait them into overextending to where they can all just single-handedly collapse in on one member and slowly take him out one-on-one.
Absolutely. If Comet Blasters is able to play together and just and take fights on their terms, waiting for the enemy to rush it, and they'll be very well set up for a strong counter push and being able to set up that offensive momentum that they're going to want to keep so bad. Just keep guys alive, be able to jump right back in there and rejoin the fight. It's going to be a very important point here.
Oh yeah. And I believe that Comet Blasters did run a cooler weapon last game in the form of that N-Zap. So I definitely think we're going to need to see the N-Zap churning out a lot more coolers than it did last game, because that is what allows them to sort of allows Comet Blasters to play more aggressively without worrying about the downside of that 5-second respawn timer if they decide to not invest into any fuel on their gear, because it's just a way, it's extra insurance against, a very aggressive team like the Red Emberz. And as we see, we're heading right into game 2 on Clam Blitz, on Robo Ramen. Let's see if there are any, if these teams made any comp adjustments.
They're looking forward here. I'm liking the double Splatana still coming out there. You're here with Comet Blaster. There's just a very strong, aggressive comp that can fight really well in the mid-range, crucially outraging things like the Ink Rush and the Tri-Nouveau coming from Red Emberz.
Yeah, and as we see, it's just a pretty even scrap in mid right now. No team is really having the clear advantage. We see the cooler come out from the N-Zap on the side of the blue team, but it looks like one goes down on the side of, I believe that is Comet Blaster. So what we do see a hammer that picks off Corona Beer on that Ink Rush, and it looks like Comet Blasters is going to start taking an early push in right now.
Nice picking up. Yeah, here they go, pushing in with that Inkjet, building up clams, just establishing a foothold over in mid. That's the most important thing right now, being able to control the clam economy. You don't want to necessarily rush into here for a score. Always nice seeing those points on the board, but you want to establish control for as long term as you can, as we see them gathering that cooler and taking fights. Unfortunately, Comet Blasters does go 2 down here, so Red Ember is taking a lot of that control back now. They do have a power clam at the ready.
Yes, they do have a power clam, but they don't really have any specials to use it with. I believe that Squeezer was halfway to its Trizuka, but as we see, there's a trade in mid on both sides to go down on the side of Red Emberz, and it looks like it's just a game of it's just a real stalemate right now. Both teams had a chance to push, but there wasn't really much coming out of it. But we see Corona Beer sharking for that ball. They find the ends up, but they cannot find much more.
No, they can't. That was just an excellent shark done there. So there, the rush goes down, and they're using and now Comet Blasters using that crab, applying a lot of pressure, keeping Clip confined to that corner there as they're trying to keep up the aggression and look for an opening to make their push in as we get to the 3-minute mark.
You see one go down on the side of the Comet Blaster, so one goes down on the side of Remember. Just make that 2. Can we potentially see 3? The Squeezer is holding on for dear life, and they are forced to back up with the support of that Tri-Slosher Fizzy Bomb. And it looks like it is just such a game of really, I think, in order for these teams to push, I think they're definitely going to fully wipe out the other team. As we see 2 go down on the side of the Comet Blasters, and we see the The Red Embers once again in control of mid, and it looks like they finally might start getting a push off almost 3 minutes into this game.
Yeah, the first score of the game going to Red Embers. They're maintaining the aggression so well as Comet Blaster use their aim check at well there. They're able to stall off a lot of time courtesy of Jelly's ball points flatling, but with that next power clam coming in for Red Embers, Comet Blaster's going to have to make the control as much as possible and establish as much more map control, but that Trizuka is making it hard.
Yeah, 2 are once again down on the side of Comet Blasters, as we see the Zap and this other member are getting heavily pushed back upon just such firepower of Red Embers. We see the Trizuka not finding anyone, but here we see a cooler in response on the side of Comet Blasters. They're just trying to make sure that, hey, if we go down, at least we're gonna be back quickly. We see the Tri-Slosher trying to brute force its way into the basket, and they managed to do it.
Oh yeah, that was a big score there. As Red Embers is also crucially ahead of that 60-point threshold, meaning Comet Blasters will need more than 2 power clamps to score to make up the deficit. If they play smartly, it's still very possible. They maintain their clamps really well and take good control here.
Yeah, what was once a stalemate in the first 2.5 minutes is now turning into the Red Embers show slowly and surely. One goes down on the side of Comet Blasters. The Zap finds the Trizuka. A great start, and if they can find the Tri, they're looking in a better spot at the moment. But look, a member of Red Embers jumped into their teammate, and they are once again stalling out the basket.
Barely in the barriers.
Oh yeah, and this definitely is halting Comet Blaster's push. One still goes down on the side of Comet Blaster. This is not looking good.
Yeah, definitely. Here with the situation, unfortunately, they're just not able to maintain that power clamp of time. And then Red Embers is able to reestablish position, get another 2-down situation going, and just start snowball this with that aggression for those last few seconds. As Comet Blasters does have that power clamp, we are going to see overtime here, but it's going to take a sizable push for them to break through.
Sizable push indeed, and they only have 1 power clam at the ready currently. And although they have a lot of clams, they need to get in first. We see the Wiper with the hammer trying to force its way in, and it looks like they made a ball while they were hammering, but it looks like from behind, Red Embers was just waiting for all of their members.
Man.
Oh, and then it's going to be over. Game 2 is going to go to Red Embers.
Yeah, they got the score, and they were looking to capitalize on it, but just a well-timed group pick by Red Embers managed to save them in that overtime, and they take an impressive 2-0 lead early on in the set.
Yeah, it was looking very even at the start, but I think once Red Embers scored that first time, it was hard for Comet Blasters to really set their foot back into mid. They were always just kind of stuck in their base and once again going 1 down or 2 down, which is something that you would not like to see. But I really like the comp though. I think you know, you don't see double Splatana that often. So I love the comp variety on the side of Comet Blasters. I just think that once again it's just the aggression from Red Ember. This is just really halting like a lot of what Comet Blasters wants to do.
Yeah, definitely. The aggression is very strong, but I think if any team can turn it around, here I think Comet Blasters has a good chance. If we can see them coordinating well together, and if we see them coordinating well together, getting the early picks, winning those early team fights, and being able to push that into offensive momentum where they could start the lockout process, I think we could see a big.
Totally, and you know that is one of Comet Blasters' key points: maintaining offensive momentum. If Comet Blasters can set the pace of the game, you know, like you said, and try and lock Red Embers out, I think they would definitely be in a lot better position. But it's just really hard. But with the way, you know, Red Embers just really stepping their foot on the gas. If anything, they're just stomping on the gas, making sure they're just moving at a breakneck pace, and they're kind of just dragging Comet Blasters along with them, trying to see if they can keep up with the tempo that they are able to do. And so far, they're down 0-2, but maybe they're slowly making those adjustments. You know, if anything, with that Robo Ramen Clan Blitz game was something to go off of. I think they're starting to understand how fast Red Emberz likes to play, and I think they're starting to develop some counterplay around that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a best of 7 set after all. Adaptation is a big part of that. And speaking of the rest of the set, we're seeing Game 3 here is going to be played on Splat Zones in Mahi Mahi Resort. What adjustments for this map mode combo do you think we could see here, Mewtwo?
I think we might see more of the comp that Comet Blasters ran in Game 1. And I think something they definitely need to be aware of is when it hits low tide, they need to be aware of Corona Beer just sharking their snipe. Because even though, you know, Brush doesn't have that much range, if you overextend a little too much on your ledge, you know, Corona Beer just might be there with the Ink Brush waiting to, you know, snipe you off. And it looks like we see a custom Explosher on the side of Red Emberz.
Love to see custom Explosion. I know the kid got a lot of flack from a lot of people in the competitive community, but it's just such an interesting alternative. That triple splashdown, if used at the right time, it could possibly swing things in just the right direction with just a timely trade. As we see Comet Blasters going 3 down early though, and Red Emberz using that custom Explosion is able to take immediate control. And Cliff, with that Explosion, is maintaining a lot of pressure already.
Yeah, just by, you know, Cliff's Explosion alone just applies so much pressure to a lot of the weapons on Comet Blaster's side. The only thing that really challenges the ball, but they can't really challenge if it goes down. 2 are down on the side of Comet Blasters. Cliff is once again having an iron grip over the zone, and all of its teammates are playing their roles perfectly. We see Corona Beer just being a little sharking rat as they like to be with that Ink Burst. We see the Inkjet coming out from Comet Blasters. Let's see if they can find someone. We see the Squeezer trying just to set up a position. Yeah.
The Booyah Bomb just not going to pin enough though, as we see specials being popped by Red Emberz, maintaining control of the zone. That is a knockout.
Yeah, I definitely think that Mahi Mahi really is a map that favors aggressive teams that like to get up in your face with how accessible the enemy spawn is in just such a matter of seconds. And as you can see, you know, Cliff holding it down with the custom Explosion, having that triple splashdown ready at the end, as you saw when the ends up from Comet Blasters was trying to paint the zone, just as a way to, you know, say either you shoot me down or you get the zone. And with 10 seconds remaining, you definitely want to paint the zone instead of trying to, you know, shoot me down, but in exchange you go down. So it's anything, just it's, you know, gives them a false chance of hope. And the rest of Red Emberz was just really holding it down. You know, they know how to play their weapons to a T, and as you can see, it has brought them up to 3-0 in the set.
Yeah, Red Emberz just showed really good timing and coordination with their specials, like at the end, as you said, with that triple splashdown, but also so with the Trizuka going off at the same time and just timed perfectly to be right after Comet Blaster's use of the Booyah Bomb. You survive the Booyah Bomb, and then you go with multiple specials at the same time just to maintain control and keep the opponent back. And now with Game 4 here, we're seeing tower control on Undertow Spillway.
Oh yeah, I think that this is just another good map for Red Emberz. Trizuka just looks great here from both the Squeezer and Love Trial and Zolo's Splatter Shot. I think maybe maybe like they might switch out Squeezer for like another Trizuka weapon, just like another Splatter Shot. But it really just depends on them. And I think if you're Comet Blasters, your back is against the wall. You know, you don't want to go down 0-4, but against a team like Red Emberz, it's just really hard to really have breathing space. You know, it just seems that Red Emberz is just always 2 steps ahead of you, always in your personal space. You know, it's just it could be very overwhelming to fight such a hyper offensive team. And as we can see, we're going into game 4. I think Comet Blasters just needs to definitely just relax, take a deep breath, and realize that they're still a game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you gotta win. You gotta win 4 games to win a set for a reason. As I'm definitely liking Comet Blasters bringing out the Neo Splashing Machine here. Just a splash machine here. I mean, AoE weapons are always great picks on tower control. And with the Neo Slash Machine also having Trizuka, that could really help them with their retakes as needed.
Oh yeah, definitely. We see an early cooler on the side of Comet Blasters already. And we see 1 go down on the side of Red Emberz, but 2 are down, 3 are down on the side of Comet Blasters. Oh my goodness, it was just essentially a bloodbath in mid. We see 1 more player in mid, ends up finding 1, but they go down as well. It just seems like it's trade central up in Undertow Spillway right now.
Yeah, although we are seeing Comet Blasters activate that ancient, trying to use it. They're using their specials for retake, trying to keep Red Emberz away from the tower. As we're seeing, as we are seeing Love Tri Hill trying to maintain control of the tower, but it is moving back towards mid. A very good pick by the machine coming in from Comet Blasters.
Oh yeah, we see Cliff being put in an awkward position as Apricot runs them down like a dog. And as we see Apricot moving in with this ballpoint, trying to pressure this person on the right, but it seems like they just jump out. The ballpoint does have their inkjet ready. They can definitely inkjet the top left once this Zuka is over. And this, you know, if you're Comet Blaster, you just need to avoid this 1 more Zuka shot, and they do. And it looks like there might be a Zuka retaliation.
It does lead for Comet Blasters. Zolo does... They do manage to pull off the trade there, as Zolo is moving up with that .52 gal, trying to re-establish control for Red Emberz, but he gets picked by the ballpoint. We're just seeing picks everywhere now. The teams are vying for control of the tower. Red Emberz using their Zuka to support their retake, taking down Onkar there along with it. Love Child setting out another Trizuka to further pressure the Comet Blasters as well.
Yeah, Love Trial finding one of that Trizuka, and as we see the ballpoint from Comet Blasters pressuring the tower. It finds 1. Looks like if they could find another one, that'd be pretty huge, but they all have the cooler buff, so it means that they're just back within a second. So as we see, the gal once again goes down on the side of the Red Emberz. We see, I believe that is Love Trial on the shot again with another Trizuka, just shows the power of cooler, like, you know, with that special gauging feature attached to cooler. And as we see, Solo once again goes down, but we see a hammer from the side of Comet Blasters. 3 are down on the side of Red Emberz, and it looks like Comet Blasters has a fighting chance this game.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. They can maintain good map control here. And move up with the objective. They have a strong chance. They're going to want to use their specials and move Red Emberz away from their key defensive positions as much as possible.
Yeah, we see Corona up top, dropping down, just, you know, utterly clotheslining that machine. And we see the inkjet coming in, trying to find, I believe, really confirm who that was, but as we see, 2 are down on the side of Comet Blasters, but they are still pushing. We see the machine finding 1. Can they find another? They use that Trizuka in a panic, and it looks like they are not aware of the person on the right trying to potentially flank them.
Another shot. You know, a big push up the right coming from Red Emberz here, as Corona Beer is getting work done once again with a key pick onto the Neo machine. She's working well around that pillar in front of the tower, as Red Emberz is moving their tower up towards the checkpoint and pushing up with that killer whale to give them supporting cover as well. However, the Tri-Slasher does go down there crucially. Zolo tried to survive. Love Trial moving in too. The bloodbath for the tower. It's currently a 1-point lead for Comet Blasters here as we approach the final minute.
Oh my goodness, that pick on the ballpoint was huge at the top left because they could have used inkjet and shut down the tower immediately. But here we see the machine raining havoc from above, and it looks like they are just comfortable not moving, because if anything, the way to move the machine out of that top left position would be to try to Zuka them. But Red Emberz takes the lead.
Yeah, just barely able to take the lead as we see Chronobeer just leave a bomb on the tower for that jump and then wisely backing off. they have the lead. They can afford to let Comet Blasters come to them now, which they will have no choice to do if they want this game to continue.
Oh yeah, we see Coronavirus. Even though they are marked, they have no fear. They're only backing up because they got directed by that machine, and so they don't want to go down these crucial last 15 seconds. We see a hammer coming in from the Comet Blasters. Apricot trying to find their best, but they find Zolo. Let's see if they can find another. They need to be aware of this Trizuka though.
Yeah. Oh, the Trizuka is just showing why it is just so deadly here in this match, as Red Emberz manages to barely take that very impressive back and forth game, and that will be the set as Red Emberz wins this set 4-0. They are back.
Oh yeah, they had to have their first 2 league matches rescheduled, but you know, the third one they came back, they said, yeah, no, we're the first seed for a reason, and they just, you know, 4-0 in a pretty dominant fashion. And if you're Comet Blasters, hey, you're still in it. 1-2 isn't, you know, the most pristine record of all time, but if anything, you just need to just finish out the season strong, and you just see where, you know, how other teams place, because I've seen teams go 3-2 and still make playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it was a 4-0, and Red Emberz just played it extremely well. But also, Comet Blasters definitely had their moments. I mean, the first half of that Clamblitz game, Robo Ramen was a dead even stalemate 8-8, where they were able to maintain control of the map for a good amount of time before the scoring started. And that last match on Tower Control Undertow Spillway was a very exciting match that came down to the end, to the very last point. They put up a very valiant effort there against an extremely strong team.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think at the end, Comet Blaster just started getting a bit too desperate to stop the tower. Like, although Red Emberz was close to taking the lead, I definitely think Comet Blasters got a little bit flustered and just started running at the tower 1 by 1. And, you know, obviously that Trizuka shot from Love Trial just really was huge, taking out the ballpoint at the top left. But as we see,
yeah, it just felt like Love Trial was able to get a Trizuka off just like every few seconds that game. That was just very well played by Red Emberz. Just very oppressive pushes and strong special use.
Yeah, and as we see, even though the set is over in favor of Red Emberz 4-0, both teams have agreed to play all 7, a good tradition here around CCA. And honestly, you know, this just gives Comet Blasters more practice. They could practice against the hyper offense that is Red Emberz, and Red Emberz can always just, you know, get a little bit more practice in for their next league match, because, you know, the first 2 matches have been rescheduled, so you're trying to get as much practice as you can before, you know, you play out the rest of the season.
Yeah, the playoff 7 is definitely one of my favorite traditions we have here in CCA. As we see the team going, and we're seeing definitely some interesting picks coming from Red Emberz with Dowser Doolies and a Luna Blaster Neo.
Yeah,
right off the bat.
Love Trial on that Dowser Doolies and Corona Beer on that Luna Blaster Neo. Something I didn't really expect. As we see, in 2 go down on the side of Comet Blaster, but 2 go down on the side of Red Emberz. And we see Silly on that machine finding great kills on 2 members. Can we potentially make it 3? We see, oh my goodness, what great aim. Oh my lord.
And Sappy with that carbon roller able to pick up the extra kill to keep the numbers soundly in Comet Blaster's favor here. They have the tactical cooler too, as we see Ankar is already securing the area around the right checkpoint. But that may be a phase as the Rainmaker is actually going to the left checkpoint. Quick support from the Trizuka that gets a key hit. Fires down everywhere. And Comet Blasters do manage to take the lead on that push.
They get the lead, but they don't get the checkpoint. They got stopped by Love Trial on those Dowser Doolies. As you see, they are single-handedly stopping the push of Comet Blasters. They found 2 crucial picks. They find 3, and it looks like they might find 1 more.
Wow.
If they can find out Sappy, and they do. Honestly, we should probably see more. I honestly hope Love Trial uses these Dowser Doolies more often.
Yeah, dazzlers are a very interesting weapon that I don't feel have really been explored that much yet. I mean, they are also one of the newest weapons into the game, coming out shortly before the season started, so there hasn't been as much time to prep with these weapons, but they definitely have good potential. As we're seeing a Pip spiraling into the killer wheel usage and just enabling that aggression while having quite good range for dualies too. Though the ballpoint does manage to take it down.
Its long range mode allows it to outrange that machine, as you saw. As you see Corona Beer on the flank, finding the ballpoint. They find the machine too. It might just be over on Red Ember's side.
Yeah,
if they do get the knockout.
I mean, if there's ever a mode to use a Lunar Blaster or Neo in, it's either Tower Control or Rainmaker. I mean, with the object damage, you have the Fizzy Bombs. Fizzy Bombs and Lunar Blaster, I feel, is just such a very underrated combo in this game.
Oh yeah, definitely. And, you know, I just love Dowser Dualies' take. Yeah, like you said, I think Dowser Dualies is very unexplored. I definitely think it's something that should be on more people's radars, because we see the potency of it on something like Crab Leg. It just gives you that really long range option, but also that, you know, the turret mode, being able to shred enemies quickly that approach you. And, you know, Killer Whale is just kind of underrated, and Ink Mines are also kind of underrated. You can place them at the checkpoint or the pedestal and just slowly chip down enemies, you know? It's pretty, you know, non-committal. You just place them there. If you get, and it's always fun getting a random mine kill. But as we see, it's a 4v3?
Trying out a new strat there?
did one of their players need to go? I mean, Comet Blasters 3v4, I mean, hey, maybe I'll step in for, you know, for Comet Blasters.
Yeah, well, one thing I've definitely learned with these CCA Playoff 7 friendlies is definitely learn to expect the unexpected.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as we're going to Clamblitz Scorch Gorge, one of my personal favorite map modes here, too. Seeing the 96 Galdeco coming in for Red Emberz, and what is this? The custom E-Leader coming in from the Comet Blasters with their group of 3. It seems it was okay. Unintentional. Battle has ended, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the general consensus I got from both teams is we want to get Kraken as soon as possible. We saw on Red Emberz the 96 from Zolo and the custom E-Leader on the side of Comet Blasters. Definitely trying to do the funny with Kraken, but you know, it's Kraken is certainly one of the specials of all time in this game.
Yeah, and if you're gonna use a Kraken, you're gonna use it in Clamblitz. I mean, just being able to get those super jumps with the Power Clam to the Kraken has just proved to be such a powerful strategy in this mode time and time again.
Oh yeah, definitely. And, you know, as we see, you know, both teams readying up again. Maybe they're all just gonna use a Kraken weapon, but you know, Kraken is just extremely limited in these weapons. We're just waiting for the new season to drop. That way we can have more weapons with more specials. That way we won't have to, you know, play with the same old kits again. But honestly, judging by the way that this balance updates have been, maybe we are just gonna play with the same specials for another season in a row. But as we can see, you know, I think everyone's just trying to you know, chill back a little, lay back. You know, Red Emberz probably not wanting to take things too seriously after their 4-0 win. Comet Blasters might be having a little bit of fun with it too. But as we can see, we're getting back right into Clamblitz on Scorch Gorge.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I think controlling the ramp area is a very important, often heavily focused point on this map, but also there are definitely multiple good approaches on this map. That left side sneak is also a very viable option to score your power clams in. And is that a blob blobber that I am seeing coming from the Red Emberz?
it appears that Red Emberz is using entirely Kraken weapons. As we can see, the Blob Bomber is almost already on its way to a Kraken. One goes down on the side of Comet Blasters. And, oh, unfortunately.
That was the Blob Blaster. Jelly with a key pick there.
Oh yeah, we are down on...
with Viper taking it up too.
We are down on the side of Red Emberz. And we are down again on the side of Red Emberz, and it appears that Comet Blasters can get a push start if they can make a ball, and yes, they do.
Yeah, very strong, especially supported by the Ancients, just putting so much pressure on the member of Red Emberz, trying to come in from that high ground perch. But first the Ancient, then the top tank is able to keep them back just enough to force Red Emberz to take a new approach route and move their way around. But as they take that extra time, Comet Blast is able to get more and more of a score in as they get past that important 60-point threshold.
Yeah, we see Love Trial on that E-Leader, just trying to position themselves in a more favorable position than the one they are in now. And it appears that, two Krakens are on board on the side of the Red Emberz. So you know what that means. You know what time it is. We see the 96 just waiting with that Kraken, just stalling. You know, they're waiting for the right opportunity, and it appears that they might go now.
Yep, that penalty missed out. We're probably going to see a jump here. Both Krakens go in. They get a pick. The jump came in, but the jump was taken out. But they did manage to get one in, though, Red Emberz did. They get one power claim in. Their Krakens are still going, just ripping through that Ultra Stam.
No, I'm not gonna lie, that was just straight up nasty. And as we see Silly on that Spatana Wiper, just trying to get that ball back before it expires on the side of Comet Blasters. And, you know, we are once again back to a neutral position, but Red Emberz just has a really strong hold in mid. We see Corona Bear using that crack on roller, using those beacons, and using their teammates as a jump point. And as we see another two Krakens on deck again. We see who is that. I believe that was Zolo on that gal, just cracking into their base again.
Yes, it is.
But
coming in.
They're not jumping.
But there are two members of Comets coming in, and they did tame the beast as the Kraken goes down. Chronavir does have 7 clams though, but goes down to Ankar there in what is a key pick there. Red Emberz still trying to swing the plat, but the Comet Blasters is maintaining their defense pretty solidly right now as we see Silly using the Toxic Mist, slowing down Zolo, trying to look for a pick with that, but the Krakens are coming back online into that platform. There's the jump coming in.
Oh yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't jump a lot earlier, but as we can see, the only thing, you know, Red Emberz had to show for that push was just one power plant, and as we can see, Comet Blasters are responding back with some of their own, and it looks like it's starting to hammer this, but they're not finding anyone, and it looks like, you know, Comet Blasters
they got immediate 2 power clims in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got that immediate 2 in there. Not able to have much more, but they did get their score down to 36. And with Red Emberz at 70 plus that 10-point penalty, this will definitely take a really good coordinated push. A Kraken, probably a couple jumps you'd want to see here if you're Red Emberz.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, as long as they build up power clams a lot faster than they are now. Unfortunately, as I say that, 3 are down on side of Red Emberz, and it looks like the Blob Blobber could not escape before Comet Blasters just... Oh my good... Okay, that was just a great step on Love Trial there. Holy cow. Oh my goodness, what? Looks like the Splatana Wiper was just spun, and they find
he just managed to sneak in there and just create just a little bit more chaos.
Oh yeah, and as you can see, 2 are down on the side of Comet Blasters. I'm not really sure what the Kraken was used for. And it looks like they're trying to chase down Silly, but they unfortunately get our jump away. Cliff, I think, but honestly, Cliff can just get another Kraken pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, and all their players have Krakens. So if they use up 1 for defense, they could just have like 2 more ready to use for a push with this comp.
Yeah, and as we can see, I'm surprised that either is using their Kraken first, and it looks like they're just not going for the basket. They realize that they're,
just don't forget.
Oh no, I don't think, hopefully they don't realize that was just put on stream. As we see Comet Blasters, after that, they take the game, you know?
Hey, in these best of 7 friendlies, you gotta respect the experimentation. A for effort there from Red Emberz.
Yeah, A for effort, but I'm not gonna lie, I had to give them an F for cracking control. Looks like they just need to steer a little bit better. But as you can see, we're approaching the final game of this play all 7 set between Red Emberz and Comet Blasters. Once again, Red Emberz already won 4-0, so future games past the 4-0 does not count at all. And as we can see, we're going to Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market. I wonder what we're going to see this time.
I wouldn't mind seeing some Booyah Bombs here. I think that could be fun to see in this. Maybe some gold arrow spray action coming in.
Maybe, honestly, potentially. After that, crack and cheese, clam blitz, yeah, I get it. Yeah. But yeah, like for zones, we might see
maybe
like
even Hydra.
Yeah, maybe quad Booyah, maybe quadruple, triple ink strike. You really don't know. after that, after all bets are off.
Yeah, in the end, both teams are here having fun. Here, we're playing our matches. And I'm definitely excited to see what Comet Blasters cooks up for this last match, coming after their win on Scorched Gorge Clam Blitz.
Yeah, maybe they're like, okay, yeah, we got our win. Maybe we could joke a little too alongside Red Emberz, or maybe they're just trying to close it out with a stone-faced.
Yeah.
Trying to just, take their game and leave for the night, because it is getting late for teams, especially on the eastern side of the the United States, which is the worst coast. I'm just saying. But as
I disagree.
Okay. I feel like the people who disagree are just people who live on the East Coast.
I mean, that is me.
Oh.
And here we go.
And as we could see... Oh, wait, I just realized. Yeah, Comet Blasters are on Central Time, which is even... Yeah, no, scratch that. Central Time is worse.
Yeah, they're not on...
Let's just be... Yeah, that time zone barely exists. Now, as we can see, we see a heavy edit on the side of Comet Blasters, and that's a silver arrow spray. That's a...
Silver arrow spray?
Oh,
well, I guess I was half right with the weapon prediction, just wrong on which kit it would be. You see the immediate reach slider going in to choose the zone there.
Zolo finding one, but they do go down to the heavy edit, who's just, single-handedly holding Comet Blaster's court. Jelly in.
I mean, that's what an edit can do when positioned well enough. It may not have the range, but it has great kill time. It can pay, and it could give you coolers and just hold down an area well.
Oh yeah, definitely. But they unfortunately do go down with the combo of Corona Beer's Reef Slider and Zolo's Carbon Roller Deco. And we see
with a key pick there, and Comet Blasters are regrouping well, maintaining control in mid. But Corona Beer with the key pick followed by the triple splashdown to flip the zone back in Red Ember's favor.
Oh yeah, we see the Zipcaster from the Splatonis Scamper trying to find one, but Corona Beer, if the zone's ever neutral, I could always expect Corona Beer to just Reef Slide and put it back in Red Ember's control. And it looks like Comet Blasters are finally in control of the zone once more. You see two members of Red Emberz trying to fight. Zolo trades with the Scamper.
Trade on Zolo. I like that trade if you're Comet Blaster. You have the zone right there. You force them to regroup while you just keep up establishing your positioning. That Reef Slider was pretty well neutralized as well. Not quite able to flip it, and Comet Blaster got right back to that triple splashdown, just annihilating the crab tank there as it goes down its settle.
Poor Crab, honestly, I didn't feel bad for, I felt that I didn't feel bad for Crab, after the whole Crab meta, but now it's just in a state of where it's pretty balanced at this point. And as we see, Jelly just sitting on Comet Blaster's tarp, using that soda just to try and get Comet Blasters back into the zone. And we see that's
another Reef Slider.
It's back in meta. Yep. No. Yeah, Comet Blasters just can't get the zone for more than 5 seconds unless, Corona Beer dies.
And they're holding it now, and that crab tank rolling far up just ready for another aggressive push by the Flashmatic here coming in. The Expo on Red Emberz does go down as Zolo drops in. Try for damage control. Red Emberz does manage to get a 2v1 in that situation to get the kill. Comet Blasters do manage to take the lead there.
Oh yeah, and Corona Beer going down means that there is no Reef Slider to cheese the zone, but they don't really need it right now, considering that 2 went down on the side of Comet Blasters, and R2 down, Zolo just trying to ping, Zolo just playing aggressive, but they do go down too silly on that Splatana Scamper, and it looks like the heavy edit, it looks like everyone from Comet Blasters just back into the zone.
Yeah, I mean, they're positioning but behind the zone, they're doing a great job showing their patience there. They were letting Red Emberz come to you, getting a numbers advantage, taking the zone, and then just using their numbers advantage to take a much better position advantage and snowball it that way. Very well played there by Comet Blasters.
Yeah, and the splash sitting on their What? How did Corona get behind them and use the Reef Slider? Oh, and they almost capped the zone. Unfortunately, Corona just did not have enough special power up to fully cap that zone. Seems like they need to invest more. And then we see Zolo. I'm not sure how they didn't find the kill with the carbon roller, but hey, you know what? Sure.
There.
Sure.
Yeah, that was very impressive by Jelly. The heavy edit pick is definitely proving to have been a good one here. But the triple splashdown trades, but takes 2 down with it.
Yeah, and it's once again back in the Red Ember's favor. We see the Reef Slider being used quite early, and Corona Beer does go down, but at the cost of all Red Embers just going down. We see the Expo single-handedly holding the zone for a few more ticks, and it looks like, you know, Comet Blasters is once again in control.
Yeah, they just barely weren't able to get enough points to take the lead, and now they have another 35-point penalty put on them. Good pressure coming out once again from Comet Blasters. The heavy edit is just getting out just so much paint to enable their teammates to move in and set up in good positions and do what they need to do.
Oh yeah, Corona Beer almost going down there, which would have been really detrimental. We see the Reef Slider coming in, not finding the heavy edit, but they do go down, 3 go down on the side of Comet Blasters. And we see, at this point, if you're Corona Beer specifically, I just charge your Reef Slider and hold for dear life. But it looks like they don't really need to hold. But with Comet Blasters going 1 down and they're nowhere near the zone, it might be over. It's over!
They're trying to make something happen, but Red Emberz managed to swing an overtime victory at the last second. Just their last hold proved to be barely enough as Comet Blasters ended up on the back foot at just the perfect time for Red Emberz there, as that a Zipcaster by itself won't be enough to be able to flip the zone in those last seconds. Very well played by both teams, though. Another game that came down right to the wire.
Yeah, and I can definitely attribute Red Ember's win to specifically Corona Beer and their Reef Slider saying, nah, I'd win. And they did win. It would have been really embarrassing, you know, if they capped the zone all those times with Reef Slider not finding much kills. But, you know,
honestly,
Reef Slider's not about kills, it's about capping the zone.
What I think swung in their favor was when they used the Reef Slider and triple splashdown at the same time. I just saw big lit up circles everywhere on the screen. I mean, if I'm Comet Blasters in that situation, I'm just like, where do I go? Where is safe when dealing with that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, if I was caught in the middle of that, I'd just turn off my Switch. Yeah. I wouldn't want to, I think that would definitely overheat my Switch if I got hit with the two-piece combo. But you know, congratulations to Red Emberz for winning the set, and you know, good job to Comet Blasters for taking a few games off of these demons of CCA. Hopefully, we'll see Comet Blasters in the Division 1 playoffs. But I think it's about time that we signed off.
Yeah, it's been a fun time in this highly anticipated Division 1 match, but all good things, as they say, must come to an end. Anyway, tonight, this was Cygnus. You can find me on Twitter or in Discord as CygnusX1018.
And I don't use Twitter. I think
Smart choice.
I think it's a terrible. I think it's just a terrible site. But
smart choice there, yeah.
But I do unfortunately manage my my team Twitter at best SPL map mode Triggerfish Zone Supremacy. But yeah, I mean, this is Mewtwo and Cygnus, and we're signing off.
Yeah. See ya.